Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at BellisioFoods.com/careers.
This just in.
The Telegram News has a new website.
TheTelegramNews.com.
Same dedicated coverage.
Same trustworthy news with a brand new look.
Covering Jackson and Benton counties and surrounding areas.
Locally owned and operated, TheTelegramNews.com has its finger on the pulse of the community.
Stay up to date on local events, high school sports, and breaking news.
TheTelegramNews.com.
Subscribe today at TheTelegramNews.com.
Check it out.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the morning show right here on Main Street TV. And of course, Pete Wilson's here because you know why? Because it's Monday. It's Columbus Day. It's Indigenous Peoples Day. It's all kind of days.
Okay, you knew all that,
But
didn't
it's
you?
Pete Wilson Day, too.
Right, but we're here anyway.
We are here.
Because we're dedicated and committed.
And I love that you have on your pink shirt for breast cancer awareness.
Okay, well, you know all the holidays, don't you?
I do.
Right, yes, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And, since you kind of gave me the cue, I'll just say ahead of time that Breast Cancer Awareness Month is going to be observed at the Jackson football game this Friday evening.
Okay.
It's going to be a pink out. And
Cool.
I know that the support groups, the cheerleaders and whatnot, are going to be selling some pink T-shirts to hopefully as many people as possible will wear pink or get that T-shirt,
Nice.
or sweatshirt, or both, or whatever it is that they're selling. I know it will be on sale this week. And Coach Hall has kind of got that going the last several years to do that in a home game in October.
Very
He
appropriate.
did lose his mother to breast cancer. And, of course, breast cancer, the most prevalent cancer among women. And many, many women are able to beat it. Some are not. And this is in honor of all of them.
That's right.
And so this is a visible form of support.
Yep.
So once again, Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October. Pink out at the Jackson High School football game this Friday night.
You know, I love that. And it is about, and this is just my opinion, Pete, because I know you have a lot of news to do, but this is about awareness. It is, Awareness Month. And ladies, just trust me when I tell you, same thing. October 1st came around. I thought, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, scheduled my yearly stuff.
Good girl,
just
good girl.
do it. Nobody likes to go do it. Nobody likes it. It's not fun, but just do it.
If you think about it, logically, I know everybody's a little scared, apprehensive, or maybe even they think, I feel fine, no problem. All these health screenings that are diagnostic,
absolutely.
If you're in that age level or demographic or whatever that makes you a little bit of a higher risk, do them because it's simple. If you do the screening and there's no problem, aren't you glad to know that?
Sure.
And if there is, you need to know that.
You need to know that it's not going away on its own, I promise you. And blissful ignorance is not good when it comes to your medical care. So please, ladies, there's all kind of help out there. If you don't have insurance or whatever, ask us here. We'll get you in the right direction. I promise you. There's many, many different programs available for ladies, for mammograms and all of that.
Right. You don't have to go to a hospital in Columbus or whatever.
Nope.
To get a mammogram. Sometimes the local health departments will do mobile clinics. The health systems here, Adina Holzer, they'll do mobile clinics, or they'll have a special special clinic in-house.
Correct.
So lots of opportunities, and for breast cancer, I think you'll see those screenings, more opportunities this month because of the month. But
don't forget it.
Right, Jennifer, you mentioned today is Columbus Day. That means that it is an official government holiday. Now, not everything is closed. Most governmental offices are closed. I know that some of the schools are open.
Okay.
And that seems to vary year to
It
year.
does.
But some schools are open, but most of the governmental offices, county, city, are closed. One of the exceptions is, we'll hit the exception, is the city of Wellston. Wellston city offices are open and doing business per normal. Jackson City, Colton Village, Village of Oak Hill, Jackson County, Vinton County, Village of MacArthur, they are all closed.
Okay.
And in Jackson, for instance, if your garbage runs on Monday, now it will be run on Tuesday along with Tuesday's route. In Oak Hill, they will back up their garbage collection a day. They do it Monday and Tuesday every week. So the Monday folks, that route will be run Tuesday.
Okay.
And the Tuesday folks, that route will be run on Wednesday.
Gotcha.
So we do have that listed on our website. It was in our Saturday paper as well, closures for Columbus Day. All right. We always like to lead with something good if we can. So it was homecoming
Love
at
that.
Oak Hill High School on Friday night.
Yes.
And yes, royalty was crowned. And the new queen at Oak Hill High School is Jordan Howard. And Jordan Howard is the queen, and Reagan Michael is the king. I think we have a picture there.
Sorry, I'm struggling to find it for some reason.
Okay, well, we may be able to come back to that, but trust me, we took a picture, and Reagan Michael was crowned king, and the queen was Jordan Howard. The other folks who were royalty, the other senior attendants were Abby Donnelly and Abby Hanning. The junior attendants were the junior attendants.
Oh, there they are.
There they are. There's Reagan, of course, on the left, and Jordan on the right. They make a lovely couple. I'm not sure they're a couple, but they are king and queen. All right, and the other king attendants were A.J. Harrison and Gavin Howe. The freshman attendants were Maddie Donnelly and Grace Lundy. The junior attendants were Hayden Rife and Emma Davis, and the sophomore attendants were Brindley, Harden, and Reagan Atkins. And so all this took place before the game on Friday. The Oaks hosted Medford, and then they had the homecoming dance on Saturday night, and that completes our circuit of homecoming.
All the homecomings.
Royalty,
Yep.
for our 4 high schools. Okay, on a sad note, I usually go from something good to something bad because that's just the way the news is. We have good
It
and bad.
is a roller coaster.
Fire occurred Saturday afternoon at a home in Clinton Township near Hamden. It was on Vinton Station Road. Occurred at 1:38 p.m. It was the Matheny residence. And unfortunately, even though 4 fire departments answered, led by the Hamden Fire Department, there was heavy fire when they arrived, and they were not able to save the home. The occupants have been referred to the Red Cross for initial support, but the firefighters were there for a couple hours. Fortunately, nobody was injured. Everybody got out okay. Firefighters came through it okay as well. But the Hamden Fire Department would like to thank the Wellston Fire Department and the MacArthur Fire Department for their aid. EMS, EMA, Sheriff's Office, all there to help as well. Once again, that was on Vinton Station Road near Hamden. That's in the Hamden Fire Department's area. That story, we don't have a lot of information, but what we do have, we got finished in a story. It's already online on our website, and it will be in Wednesday's print edition.
Okay.
All right. Late Thursday evening, a strike was averted on Kroger.
Oh, thank goodness.
Right. And I tell you what,
I was worried about that one.
It was close. It was on Thursday evening that the United Food and Commercial Workers Union, that's the union that represents all the unionized Kroger employees, took a vote, and that vote was 3,546 in favor of the contract, 3,193 against.
Ooh,
so
that's close.
It was pretty close. And of course, the main sticking point, as it often is in labor negotiations, is wages. And there were across the board wage increases for the Kroger employees. I'm not going to give you all of them, but just an example. Up to $2.65 an hour increase to grocery, produce, deli, bakery, department leaders, and customer service coordinators. Up to $2.50 an hour for head meat cutters. up to the biggest increase was for pharmacy technicians, certified pharmacy technicians, $4.50 an hour raise. Starting wages for the clerks go to $14.25 an hour, up to $1 an hour wage increase for the courtesy clerks and baggers, which are at the bottom of the labor totem pole at Kroger. Everybody gets a wage increase. Kroger said in a statement, it's the largest wage investment they have ever made in employees.
Wow.
So no strike at Kroger. Of course, that is locally relevant because we've got a Kroger store right here in Jackson.
That's exactly right.
530 East Main Street in the Jackson Square Shopping Center. All right, one of the main topics at the most recent meeting of Jackson City Council, it may be brought up again, although it may not sure, because there's nothing pending on it, but there was a discussion about sidewalks. Okay, you have all this work going on in town, street paving, curb replacement.
Sure.
What about sidewalks? I think we can all say, being locals, there are some sidewalks that are not in very good shape.
A lot, yes.
Now, when they passed the city income tax, when local voters passed the city income tax in 2020, it was half of that money, 1.5% income tax, new income tax. Half of that money was for infrastructure and improvements, and that could include sidewalk replacement or repair.
Okay.
Now, obviously, they're going to attack the streets first, and they're continuing to do that. It's going to take, Randy Evans says it will take probably more than 5 years to get all the streets paved for the first time. But so what about the sidewalks? Now, technically, Jennifer, you probably know this, the sidewalk is the responsibility of the property owner. All right.
It's so confusing.
Probably some people may not know that. They'll think that's a public thing running through their yard or whatever. But actually,
you don't own it, but you're responsible for it.
You're responsible for
and you
sidewalk
have to pay for
repair. And it's on a city ordinance. So technically, all these years, because it is an older city ordinance and it's never been undone, technically the city could say, fix it. And you'll have to do it or face the consequences. I'm not sure what the consequences are. Now, politicians being what they are have never tried to force that. They don't want to be a one-term mayor or a one-term councilman.
Right.
And maybe they feel individually it just wasn't right. It's never really come up. Now, some property owners have done it on their own because, they consider that part of their property, and it is, and they want it to be nice, like they want their house to be nice. So anyway, this came up through discussion. Ryan Peters brought it up, First Ward councilman. He's launched a lot of initiatives, always looking at how the city could improve things. And he noted that he had heard that there was a city or cities in Ohio. He had to track down the specifics, but there was a city or cities in Ohio where the city went ahead and did the work. They tore up the bad sidewalk, they replaced the sidewalk, and then they would put a tax lien against the property. That way, the property owner wasn't having to pay up front at least, and it just kind of came off the property taxes. Probably wouldn't be too thrilled about that, some people would, but it's something the city could do to get something moving.
Well,
rather than, write a letter to somebody and say, fix it or whatever.
Well, here's the deal too, and I've had this discussion, funny that you brought this up, the past week with a couple of different people that, it's hard to find contractors right now too. So if you have somebody, I would be, if it were me, I would be very willing to say, sure, y'all take care of it, and then I'll just pay you for it because I don't want to have to deal with it.
Some people probably would. Some people probably would.
Because finding somebody to do that and somebody that, will do it properly and all of that, if they've already got a crew out doing it.
Right. And
that seems easier to me. One
of the things Ryan said, well, maybe we can set it up with a contractor to do the worst sidewalks. That way it would be cheaper because they'd be doing, 25 or 30 jobs at once as opposed to one.
100%, yeah.
Right. So, he brought up that. Well, after he broached this, Mayor Randy Evans said that, they'd already fixed some of the sidewalks when they were doing streets and curbs and like that. And he said that he feels the city should just take care of it. It'll be done more consistently then. They can use the income tax money to do it. And he thinks it would be problematic to try to force or come up with some plan where the property owners had to pay. So, I mean, that was, he said he will do whatever, as he always says, he said this before, I'll do whatever you guys tell me to, speaking of council.
Sure.
But he feels, and he was going to go ahead, and he would like to go ahead and do all the sidewalk replacement, repair on a priority basis on the city zone as they can. Hit the worst places. When they're doing a curb replacement, if the sidewalk is connected with the curb, do that sidewalk then, or do the worst sidewalks wherever they are.
I mean,
and also they would all look the same. You know how sidewalks look different,
right?
Concrete, cement, or whatever. He said it would be more uniform if the city did it all.
Well, and I think there's a lot of, there are some sidewalks in this town that are, dangerous, very hazardous because of tree stumps or, roots or whatever too, is a whole other issue.
This whole thing came up at the last council meeting. Pete Bopp lives in the 4th Ward there on the southwest side of town.
Yep.
And, because of parking and all, he was walking home after the Apple Festival, and he nearly tripped several times on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Because it was dark. It was on South Street, which is a main residential street. And I know I live on South Street. If you're walking at dark, you better be careful because, there's places on the sidewalk. I know where they're at. So that helps me.
You've lived there a couple of years.
Right. But, you almost wonder if there's going to be some people with those miners' hats with the light out front,
Be smart.
But anyway, so that was a big discussion. If the city does go forward with this and the mayor is proposing that the city just take care of it as they can, they're not going to cancel any street paving. It's going to be secondary to that.
Right.
But they would that's what Randy Evans would like to do, and he thinks that would be better in the big picture. So we'll see if council goes along with that. Also, this affects everybody, so I want to mention it. On the business side, gas prices. They took about a 20-cent jump in Jackson late last week. The basic price, most places in the city of Jackson, was $3.69. Now it's $3.89. Now, that's not every place. Since the gas prices have spiked, I've seen a lack of uniformity. Not only across the state and in the area, but even in the county. Not so much in a town, but in the county. But the prices went up about 20 cents. And you'll be surprised to hear this, Jennifer. Jackson right now, Jackson and Jackson County are among the lowest in the state right now.
Really?
Remember how Chillicothe is usually a lot lower? It's $3.99 now.
Oh.
So,
aren't we something?
And I checked Gas Buddy this morning, which is a website where you can check gas prices all over the place. Gas prices range from about $3.59 to $5.29 in the state of Ohio. It's crazy, the range, the range that is in there. Now, Patrick DeHaan, who is a noted national analyst, says that the gas prices are likely going to go up because of OPEC cutting production. However, the gas prices in our area, in the Great Lakes area, went up beforehand because of refinery issues. They have been resolved now, and he feels that they'll kind of play against each other, and it may even go down just a little bit.
Okay.
But before too long, I don't know what too long is, they're going to go back up because of OPEC. So you can expect probably gas prices going over the $4 a gallon mark sometime before the end of the month.
Again.
But we'll see. We'll see. It's hard to predict.
It is.
I just say what other people say. All right. We are going into the registration early voting period, Jennifer. We are about a month away from the November 8th general election. If you want to vote in the November 8th general election, you can do it early now. You don't have to wait till election day. You need to make sure you're registered. If you're not registered, you need to do it. If your registration information has changed, that means your name has changed, your address has changed. You need to do that too, no later than tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow is the deadline. You can do it as late as Tuesday, October 11th. You can do it at the Board of Elections. You can do it online. You can do it at different public offices like the BMV. There's a list of them. I'm not going to go down the whole list, but a lot of public places, libraries, I think you can do registration. But you have to do it by tomorrow.
Okay.
The next day, Wednesday, October 12th, early voting starts. That means absentee. You can get an absentee ballot and turn it in, do it that way. Or you can vote early in person at the boards of elections offices, all 88, all across the state. That includes Jackson County and Benton County. There will be extended hours starting Wednesday. They'll get a little bit longer as we get closer to the election. And the last weekend before the election will even be open on the weekends, the board offices. But right now, starting on Wednesday, it'll be 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. All the boards of elections offices will be open for those hours.
Yeah, and we have a lot I don't know that we have as much here locally, but we do have some statewide issues and things like that to vote on. I mean, we have a governor's race, for goodness sake. Come on, get out and vote, folks.
That's very important. Governor and one of the United States Senate seats, congressman always on those even year elections.
Yep.
State representative, state senator. And in Benton County, there is a three-way race for one of their county commissioner spots.
Okay.
A Republican, a Democrat, and an independent.
Very important.
Right.
Get out and vote.
Right. And speaking of politics, the Benton County Republican Party had its Lincoln Day dinner a week ago on Saturday. And they had a nice turnout in Hamden. Red Thompson Jr. was there to cover it. And they had Mark Johnson. There's the picture of the group together with their banner, Benton County Republican Party. And that gentleman on the right there that Dylan has put up, that is Mark Johnson. That's somebody that the Benton Countyans are going to get familiar with because of the new legislative lines. He is now the state representative for Benton County. They had two of them before. Jason Stevens, who represents Jackson County and a couple of the counties around here, represented part of Benton County, and Jay Edwards from Nelsonville represented the other part of Benton County. Hate that when they cut a county in two.
I know. Hey, where is Jason Stevens from?
He is from Kitts Hill, which is near Ironton.
Okay.
He was the Lawrence County auditor, and then he was the one who got picked to be their successor to Ryan Smith. He was appointed, and then he was elected.
Okay.
And by the way, he's on the ballot again, but he is unopposed.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, Mark Johnson, who you saw there, was the speaker at the Benton County Republican Party dinner. And he does not represent Benton County now, but he will next year. That's when the new lines take effect. And how can we say he's going to be elected for sure? He's unopposed.
Oh, well, there you
go. So he's in. He is a Republican from Chillicothe. And he was there to get acquainted with some of the Benton County Republicans. All right, on the law enforcement side, we always like to tell you good news because they get into all kinds of mayhem and danger and like that. But a very competent officer on the MacArthur Police Department, Corporal Bryce Chesser, won the ACE Award. And that is Corporal Chesser on the right, and honoring him with that ACE license plate, it looks like, is MacArthur Police Chief Matt Kite. What do you have to do to get the ACE Award? Well, a lot of patrol troopers get this, and I think it's cool that a MacArthur Police Department got it. The ACE Award is given to a law enforcement officer who recovers 5 or more stolen cars or on-site arrests or convictions in a calendar year. So Corporal Chesser did it at least 5 times.
Wow.
So congratulations to him. All right, I know that we've talked a lot about the homegrown happy hour.
We did.
I think you probably talked about it on Friday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I want to personally give a shout out to everybody who was involved in that.
It was so fun.
Of course, it was the brainchild. There are 5 people who were very important in the first show. From the left, including the cat. The cat was a wonderful idea that somebody came up with, and we had to make sure the cat was in the picture. Thank you, James, for doing that. Now the cat.
No cat was hurt.
The cat was the only member
of
the staff who was not totally compliant. It did not want to be in the photo.
No, he did not.
But James had it under control there. But James Hamilton there on the left. Then you've got Rodney Porterhouse Tomlin. You got Ben Davis Jr., the host with the mostest. You got Wes Shipp. Is that man talented?
He's very talented.
And he shared his personal story. I thought that was great. He just connected well with the audience. And there on the right, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, Nathan Kitts, who made Rowdy's Smokehouse available as the venue for the Homegrown Happy Hour, at least through the month of October. Yep. But of course, it was on Thursday evening at 7:00 live on 98.7 Pure Rock. And there is Wes Shipp with the harmonica player, Gary Weber.
Gary.
Was he good?
Gary's awesome.
I have never seen a singer that has a harmonica player as an accompanist.
I did.
But that was cool. That was great.
It was really cool.
Right. And Gary Weber was very good as well. But I thought they were outstanding. They could play big venues.
Sure.
And they do. They travel.
A lot.
He is a pro. Wes Shipp is a pro, and Gary is with him there. So that is the kind of talent that they have lined up for the Homegrown Happy Hour.
Yep.
We know who's going to perform each Thursday in October. Once again, 7 p.m. each Thursday at Rowdy's Smokehouse. Megan B is next in line on this coming Thursday. All right. We also want to remind you that the flu shot clinics, the mobile flu shot clinics by the Jackson County Health Department are underway.
Yes.
Last week they had them in Oak Hill and Wellston and in Jackson. And tomorrow night at the Health Department, they're going to do this through the month of October. We want to remind everybody that COVID and flu shot clinics will take place at the Health Department. They're open all day, but they have later hours to 6 p.m. as a convenience to the public on Tuesdays through the month of October. The Jackson County Health Department is located at 200 East Main Street in downtown Jackson. Catty corner from 6 cents.
That's right.
Is that a good?
Hey, I like that. Thanks, Pete.
Is that a good way to say that? But anyway, great opportunity to get flu shots or the COVID vaccine. There will be another mobile clinic on Monday, November the 7th. That will be at the Jackson City Library, and that will be during the day, 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. All right, a lot of things going on this past weekend and heading into the weekend. One of them was the opening of a new reception at the Marquet Cultural Arts Center, and the man who is has the show this time is Trevin Wyatt.
Okay.
And Trevin has an exhibit called A Far Off Memory, and there he is standing alongside of one of his pieces. Wonderful display there. Our own James Hamilton was there. Brittany was there as well to take pictures for us. We appreciate that because there were all sorts of things going on. But this was a very good show. Oh, James wasn't there. He was at the Rowdy's thing. Sorry, he can't be two places at once. He's good, but he can't.
Take credit for it.
He can't.
Brittany was at the Marquet,
He can't be
right?
two places at once. We wouldn't want to clone James, would we?
I would love to clone James. So would James, yes. We should all be so fortunate.
But anyway, at the Marquet, that exhibit is underway now, and it will be there through Saturday, October 29th. It's always free. It's open from 12 to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. That's the Marquet Cultural Arts Center, 269 East Main Street in downtown Jackson. We'll have a story and a photo on the new exhibit in our next paper, which is Wednesday, of course. All right, so much stuff going on this weekend. Before we get to what's coming up, I do want to mention that the Jackson County Board of Aging is having their annual meeting this Wednesday. I mention that because they do invite the public to come. Of course, there is a $500,000 renewal levy that is on the general election ballot.
That's another one to vote for.
Right.
I mean, that's going to be on the ballot.
Right, and that's very important to them. But the board meeting will be at the Jackson Senior Center, 25 East Mound Street in Jackson. Anticipated items on the agenda will include, it'll be an annual meeting, but they will elect officers, which is important. But they're also going to talk long-term goals, very important. Short-term goal, I know, is to pass that levy. Very important. The thing that they stress, and I'm sure that Bill Martin and Amanda Crabtree talked about it when they were here.
Yep.
This is separate. This is a separate issue from building a new center.
Correct. This is just to maintain the services that they've been doing.
Right. And you're talking about valuable transportation services, congregate meals at the centers, home-delivered meals, so much. And the activities that go on there at the senior center, away from maybe the public eye, but so important to our senior citizens.
Very important to our seniors. And here's the deal. This is a renewal. That means people get confused about replacements and renewals and all of that, but it will just maintain. They're not asking for more money. Your taxes will stay the same. It's just a renewal.
You're right. The renewal levy means, I know it's confusing, renewal,
it
replacement, but a renewal levy means that even though the millage is the same, the actual taxes do not go up. Mm-hmm. Your property values may go up, but that's when a replacement levy comes in. It's still the same millage, but it reflects the property values. This isn't even doing that.
No,
so
it's just maintaining.
They're really losing money to inflation by doing this, but they're trying to be as frugal as they can with the public. But that annual meeting that the public is invited to is this Wednesday at 12 p.m. at the Jackson Senior Citizen Center. If you want to learn more about it, and talk to the folks firsthand that run this program, the staff, as well as the board, that would be the place to do it. Okay, this past weekend, they had the 4th annual Oktoberfest at the Vinton County Junior Fairgrounds, all sorts of things. They had a haunted barn up there. They had food trucks and vendors. They had free entertainment. They did trick or treat. They had live music. They had all kinds of vendors. It was a big fundraiser for the fairgrounds, and it was just a good time all the way around. We hope to have a report on that as well.
Good.
Coming up on Thursday is the Hope Haven Fall Festival. This is a big fundraiser for the Developmental Disabilities Program, which, of course, they have Hope Haven School for school-age children and some young adults. But that fall festival, and it is well supported by the public. They'll have food service there. They will have a bake sale. They'll have a Chinese auction. They will have a live auction from 6 to 7 p.m. and a big split the pot. That will be at Hope Haven School on Sellers Drive this Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m. That will be a fun place to be.
Yes.
I know later in the week we're going to talk. You're going to have a guest in, and you're going to talk about the big veal sale for the Jackson Lions Club. That will be this Friday and Saturday at the Farmer Sportsman booth. But they will be selling veals there. You can get the deep fried pork tenderloin. That's what a veal is, if you didn't know, for only $5. Soda and water will be available for $1. Proceeds from this sale will benefit the Lions Club Vision Care Project. The Lions Club would like to thank the Farmer Sportsman for letting them use their booth.
They're very generous with that booth, and that's much appreciated.
Right. Okay. We're going to talk about football now. Is
Woohoo!
that all right? Okay.
Foosball.
It's football season, and all 4 of our local teams were active last Friday. We had 2 winners and 2 losers. The Jackson Iron Men went to Greenfield, and they stayed on track for their dreams of championship glory and playoff glory later on. They defeated Greenfield 48-0 to go to 6-2 on the season. They've now won 5 games in a row. There you see our scoreboard. We'll run down those scores right now. The Vinton County Vikings were our other winner. They defeated River Valley on the road as well, 54-22. The Oak Hill Oaks were home for homecoming. They lost to Medford 38-10, and the Wellston Golden Rockets hit the road to Athens and lost to the Bulldogs 46-0. The Ironmen and the Vinton County Vikings are playing maybe for a championship or no less than a share for a championship this Friday.
Cool.
So we want to hype those 2 games right now. The Ironmen will be at home against Washington Courthouse. This is the pink out game, all right?
Okay.
But Jackson's wearing red and Washington Courthouse will be wearing blue. Washington Courthouse has only lost 1 game this year. They have not lost in the conference. Jackson has not lost in the conference.
Uh-oh.
Going into last Friday, Jackson, Courthouse, and Chillicothe were all undefeated in the conference. Courthouse beat Chillicothe at Chillicothe last Friday, so this is a showdown game.
Okay.
This Friday. Courthouse is averaging more points a game than even Jackson is. So they have a great offense. They believe that this is their best team in more than 10 years.
Wow.
So something has got to give. Jackson has won the lion's share, pun intended, of the Frontier Athletic Conference championships. They didn't win last year, but they won the lion's share of no, they did win last year. They trounced everybody. It was the year before that they didn't win. But they have won the title 3 of the 5 years, and they tied another one of those years.
Huh.
So they are whoever wins this game will win no less than a share of the title, and they can clinch it by winning the final week of the season.
Gotcha.
Jackson will be at Chillicothe the final week of the season, and that won't be any walk in the
Those are
park
tough
either.
games to end your season.
So they've had great crowds at Alumni Stadium this year. Jackson has traveled well on the road, the fans have, and so this is another game to come out to. It should be a classic because Washington, I would say, I'm allowed to say this because I've been doing it for a long time. I'm an old geezer. This is the strongest Frontier Athletic Conference field that I've seen since they formed the Frontier Athletic Conference. Jackson is very good again, but there are 2 other teams that may be just as good or better. We'll see. Chillicothe and Courthouse comes to Jackson this Friday. All right.
Be on the lookout.
The Vinton County Vikings defeated River Valley 54-22. That was a TVC Ohio game, Tri-Valley Conference, Ohio Division. They remain tied for first place with Nelsonville York, who also won. Nelsonville York defeated Alexandria easily. Well, Nelsonville York has not lost in the division. Vinton County has not lost in the division. Guess what? They collide on Friday.
Wow, this is getting good.
At Vinton County. And so, this is once again a chance for the home crowd to come out and support the Vikings there. It would be the first time in a while, that they've had a chance to win the division championship there, even though Coach T.J. Carper has them trending positively. Now, they lost their quarterback, unfortunately, Isaac Mollahan, to an injury 2 weeks ago. But they have adjusted with a new quarterback, and they obviously had a great game, winning 54-22 over River Valley.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking more about maybe that later in the week. But two very big football games, Jackson hosting Courthouse on Friday and Vinton County hosting Nelsonville York, who, if our local teams win this game, they will do no worse than share the titles in their respective conferences.
Right.
Okay, our other teams, Wellston and Oak Hill, both lost on Friday, but they will both be in action on Friday as well. Wellston will be playing Meigs, and Oak Hill, I believe, will be playing Portsmouth West.
Okay.
So those games are out in front of us as well. All right, this past weekend was an active one. I was in the office doing a lot of work, but my boys were out working. They were hustling, covering some very big events in the community, and that's what we want to do. We want to get out and cover things in the community, especially if they're good things. Alex Shope, the editorial assistant on our staff, who does a great job in all ways, he wanted to go to Moonville anyway, so I said, well, why don't you go to the Midnight at Moonville event? He was one of hundreds of people who was there. It went went to both Saturday and Sunday. I don't know whether he saw a ghost or not, but he's here to talk about it.
We're going to find out here in a minute.
And then we will follow up that with Jeremiah Shaver, who had a long day Saturday, but doing all fun stuff. Shop Small in the fall that the Wellston Main Street put on in downtown Wellston.
Yes.
The big Oktoberfest that St. Peter and Paul Catholic School has as an annual fundraiser. And then the Haunted Barn at the Jackson County Fairgrounds. And I got a sneak peek at some of the spooks there, and I'm not going. I mean, they look pretty
They're scary, huh?
But we've got all sorts of pictures, videos, and personal takes on those events. And we'll have coverage coming in both the Telegram and, of course, on our website.
Love that.
All right. I will give up my seat to Alex Shope, and he will tell you about Midnight at Moonville.
Ooh, I'm so excited. Come on over, buddy. Yeah, Midnight at Moonville, such a big event, and it just grows. I feel like it just gets bigger and bigger. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm well. Do you want to do another strip?
I'm okay. Still got that nasty bitter taste in my mouth for the last one.
So we all did the taste test thing to find out if we're super tasters here on the show. And Alex was walking by after the show, and I said, here, stick this on your tongue, see if you're a super taster. And it was not good. Evidently you are.
Like tasting the moth. It's just.
He was like, oh. And I was like, none of us are. So it was just, at your expense, quite funny to see that reaction because nobody here had that.
Oh, no, it was funny to me, too.
But I love that you trusted me to do that. And then James is so mean. He goes, well, here, give him this other one that tastes different, which would have been the same exact one. I was like, no, James, that's so mean.
I would have fallen for it. It's fine. I'm gullible.
Well, we're going to do it to Jeremiah here in a minute. So if you want to stick around, we're going to let him have it.
Excellent.
We'll see if he tastes paper or what you tasted, which was, you said moths.
Moths, mainly.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ask how you know what that tastes like.
I'm up high in the air. He's
a tall drink of water.
A target. Yeah. It's a target.
They fly high.
And I'm like fluorescent white, so it's...
They're just drawn to you. That's funny. All right, so Moonville, if y'all don't know, Moonville is in the Zaleski State Forest, and there's the tunnel there. There's a lot of history involved with it, but there's a big festival every year called Midnight at Moonville, and you were able to go there and check it out.
Mm-hmm. I did go this year. I've been wanting to make it up to the rail trail for some time.
So what I don't know, I've only been there one time, and this is a couple years ago, and I was with my cousin and in their Jeep, and we drove right up to like like a little bit before that. So like you can't drive right up to the tunnel, but you can park just behind where those people are. But I know when there's so many people there, where do you park and how do you get there? Because I assume, because we went down some crazy country roads to get there.
Oh yeah, no. You drove through, like you said, a bunch of roads, and they had you park in a field, and they had this transportation company.
Like a shuttle.
Yeah,
oh,
like
okay,
shuttles.
okay, that makes sense. I was like, where are they parking all these people?
Oh, it was they had you park out in this big lumpy field, and it was
nice,
fun to get out of, but that's okay.
So tell us about the event.
It was a really nice change of pace. It wasn't really what I expected, but then I wasn't sure what to expect at all. Just a lot of really cool ideas that they're doing out there, where they have the band set up inside the tunnel. Acoustics are really good. Makes it sound really nice in there. And like you said, there's a lot of history and backstory behind what Moonville is, and the whole haunted.
Did you see anything weird?
Did I see it? I mean, I saw my reflection a couple times, but it's.
Did someone mistake you for the Sasquatch walking around the?
No, there was actually a lot of really cool costumes. That they had, I think they said they had 10 paid actors that were working around, but the best one was the one where a woman was dressed up as one of the Wendigo, and that was pretty neat.
The what?
It's a Native American thunder spirit. And,
okay.
But no, you could tell that this costume was really well thought out. It had like a skull and everything with mushrooms growing out of it, and it's just you could tell she really put a lot of work behind it. And,
sure.
Stomping around chasing kids. I was like,
that sounds fun.
No, that's what I was going to say. That's my job.
Oh, it's so funny. So what, besides the music, what else is out there at the festival?
There was a lot of vendors out there, a lot of artists as well, just handmade jewelry. I think Dennis Reinhardt was out there selling photos of Moonville and a lot of the trails he takes care of. And, there was a man, Thomas Burnett, I believe was his name, was telling stories. Apparently he'd recently suffered a stroke or something, but he's still able to go out and tell stories about the local area, and such. A very knowledgeable guy. Very cool.
That's awesome.
They were given horse buggy rides to the abandoned town and such. There was just a lot to do. I mean, in a really small space in a really cool area.
Yeah. So had you not been out to the tunnel before?
Never.
Isn't it like, I've only been there the one time, but it's surreal.
Yeah. I mean, much bigger than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Much bigger than I thought. And the area is just beautiful.
It is.
Which,
especially this time of the year.
Oh yeah. With fall and such.
Yeah.
Which me and my wife went, I think, around 6:00. Because we knew there was a freeze warning on tonight, and we weren't sure if people were going to bail when it started getting cold. But I guess they had a couple paranormal investigators come in around midnight. So,
ooh, I wonder if they found anything.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure. But
you're the news guy. You can find out.
I should have.
We'll keep you updated on that. But no, and it's funny because you see things that are covered in graffiti, and sometimes it's just very unsightly and whatever. And for some reason, that tunnel has been covered with graffiti, and it's beautiful.
It is.
It's very odd.
It's a very strange concept in that, it's the first thought of it is that this is a very, very old landmark and such, and it's kind of disrespectful to spray graffiti and such on it. But you go in and it looks very, very nice. Yeah.
It's very odd.
I was like, oh, that's actually really pretty.
It is.
But it is. It's a beautiful place. I mean.
So what did you find out about the history that maybe you didn't know, of the tunnel?
About the history and the tunnel?
Of Moonville in general.
There's a plaque inside amongst all the graffiti and such that commemorates the people that restored it and everything else like that. I'd really like to learn more about it and such. I didn't get to go down and see the abandoned town or anything else like that.
Yeah, I don't think that I saw that. We were just in the tunnel and that was it.
I got to talk. I got to talk to some people from the tourism, and such. Oh goodness, the name's escaping me right now. I think her name was Sharon.
Okay.
But she gave me a little small breakdown and such of some of the history and stuff that was going on, and a lot of the improvements they're doing on like the rail trail and such, restoring the bridges and just setting up benches and just making it more accessible to people. So I'm really really looking forward to seeing what they have in mind.
And how far does that go? The trail?
The rail trail. Don't hold me to this, but I'm pretty sure somebody said like around 4 miles maybe.
Okay. I know a lot of people ride like ATVs and horses, lots of horses there and stuff like that. So it's a really pretty area. It's really neat. So if you have a chance, get out and see it.
Definitely.
Yeah. So you had a good time.
I had a great time.
Cool.
I did. I'm definitely going next year.
And then will you have an article in the paper about this?
We'll have a few sets of photos, and I'll definitely have an article.
Good. So you can look forward to that. If you didn't get to make the Midnight at Moonville Festival this year, you can, of course, look forward to it next year.
Definitely. I hope they have it next year.
I'm sure they will. If we can keep these stupid pandemics, at bay.
That's, you never know, do you?
You don't. I mean, who would have ever thought, right?
Right.
But, well, thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me.
Stop by anytime. All right. Jeremiah, we'll let him talk first before we stick that thing in his mouth to see if well, just in case he has your reaction. It was your idea for me to bring this in. I want you to know.
It was. I'm excited, but I told him I probably am not a super taster, but we'll find out.
None of us are except for Alex.
Yeah.
So
well, didn't you say there was some other stuff, other folks on staff that were?
Rodney and Matt. Rodney had a pretty, not his reaction, but a pretty bad reaction to it, and then Matt was kind of a tweener.
Gotcha.
But he did have some reaction to it.
Okay.
So
all right.
But Alex was by far the worst. Like eyes watering in the whole 9 yards. Yeah.
Well, we'll have to wait and see here.
And it was instant. So I knew he wasn't like making it up because he just like went like that. And he was like, oh. So we'll see how you are here in a minute.
All right. So as Pete was saying earlier, I was in the city of Wellston off and on all day Saturday, June.
Yeah.
That was October 8th. And just a slew of things going on. If you were not in Wellston on Saturday, you missed out on some fun opportunities.
Yeah, for sure. Starting to shop already.
Yeah. They had a fun event, Wellston Main Street. You may know them as an organization that tries to do positive change there in that downtown historic district. It started in 2016, Wellston Main Street did, and they are I thought this was interesting. I had to look it up because I wasn't sure. It's a 501c6, not a C3.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
what is that?
So I hadn't either. The one you hear a lot of is the
C3, yeah.
The C3. A C3 serves the public, and a C6 serves their members. And a lot of the C6s are like your Chamber of Commerce or your organizations such as this Main Street that focuses on that downtown area of a city.
Okay.
So thought that was interesting. I was up there for a little bit for this Shop Small and Fall event. They had a number of contests and games and just encouraging people to get out and shop in that downtown area, not just downtown, but just across the city in general. They also had a gift basket worth over $500. And to enter that, you had to just drop your receipt with your name in it. So that was kind of a perk to get people to come out and shop. But I put together a little video. We'll have Dylan play it. That kind of gives you
Love
a look at that downtown and just that shopping experience that people got to experience Saturday. It was a little cool, because we had that frost and stuff overnight, Friday and the Saturday. But there was still a lot of people out shopping, had their coats on, and we'll get to the video here.
All right.
Jackson County's Friday at the Fairgrounds Haunted Barn attraction is underway. Jackson County's Friday at the Fairgrounds Haunted Barn attraction is underway. The cost of admission $15.
Okay.
Oh, sorry for that. That's the other thing. He jumped ahead. He
He
jumped ahead there. So that's another video I did for the haunted barn.
We'll get to that in a minute.
We'll get to that one in a minute. But I also went out to the haunted barn there at the fairgrounds Saturday evening.
Yes.
It was a little cool, but they had a big line of folks out there. We'll get to that little promo video.
Yep. Okay, we got.
Wellston Main Street hosted its first ever Shop Small and Fall event on Saturday, October 8th. The event, which was held in Wellston's downtown historic district, featured a vendor fair, games, and contest, as well as encouraging people to shop not only downtown, but throughout the city of Wellston.
Hi, I'm Tina Stroud. I am the new Wellston Main Street president, owner of Rusted Barn, and we just want to say thank you for coming out to our Shop Small and Fall event. We're trying to show off some of the new businesses in town and as well as through Wellston.
The Shop Small and Fall event featured many contests, such as a chili cook-off contest, which was held at Daisy's Hometown Coffee there in downtown Wellston. There was 8 people who submitted chilies in the contest, and a first, second, and third place was named. First place went to Brandon Brown, second place went to Vivo Jalisco, and third place went to Casey Brown. There was also a pumpkin carving and decorating contest held during the event there in downtown. There were different age categories for those pumpkin decorating and carving contests. Here was a look at some of the pumpkins that were entered in the contest. The Telegram has a complete list of winners in a story in the Telegram. The main goal of the event in downtown was to get people to go out and shop. Here's a look at some of the folks out and about at the local businesses and vendors doing just that. The folks who were out and about on Saturday had the chance to drop their receipts in for an opportunity at winning a Shop Small gift basket valued at over $500. The lucky winner was Mindy Jackson. So there you have it,
That
Jen.
looks like so much fun.
It was the first time they ever had this Shop Small and Fall event. Tina, who's the president now, she was telling me that, earlier this year they were looking at maybe kind of discontinuing this organization because they just didn't have, I guess, the participation.
Mm-hmm.
And she was telling me that they had a meeting and had some, I guess, younger folks get involved.
Yeah.
And this was one of the younger folks' idea to have this Shop Small and Fall event. The next thing to look forward to from them will be your Christmas treats on Wellston Streets.
Yeah,
first
that's always a
Saturday.
big one.
Yeah, first Saturday in December. So we'll be looking forward to that. And usually all the Christmas parades are held that first Saturday there in December. So that'll be coming up. But it's the first time they ever had it, and it was a lot of fun.
Did you or did you not hold the knife that kid was carrying around?
I did not. I saw him multiple times.
Hilarious.
Yeah, he was carrying that around from business to business up there. I think he got it at one of the businesses there on Ohio Avenue. I can't think of the business's name off the top of my head, but
So funny.
yeah, it was cute. He told me he really liked it though. I saw him later in the day at the next event I covered, which was St. Peter and Paul School's Oktoberfest.
Yes.
He was there as well, and I got to talk to him briefly. But
so funny. He walked out. We were all like, "What is that kid holding?"
yeah, that was. It had Michael Myers' face. I don't know if you saw there on the side of that blade, but I think it's supposed to represent his knife there.
Okay, all right.
But anyhow, after I wrapped up that event, I stopped by Oktoberfest there at St. Peter and Paul Catholic School. They have this Oktoberfest every year, and it's like a fun, family-friendly type event. They have the inflatables games and auctions, and here's some photos I took. They have inflatables out there for the kids to play. They always have a big live auction there at the end of the event. You have Dennis Case there doing the auction. That kind of wrapped up the event for the day. There was something else that they had. That's just a photo of like the silent auction. There was something new that they had. I think this was new. It was called the Great Pumpkin Drop. So you know how like sometimes like the kids in school
that online, so cool.
Sometimes in school, like the kids do like the egg drop, where they have to like figure out how to design ways to protect the egg from getting
like
cracked.
a vessel for it to, and then they drop it.
And they drop it. Well, they did that with large pumpkins, and they dropped it from 2 stories high. So they had a lift to take it up, and here's a photo of some of the pumpkins afterwards.
Is that a lot of bubble wrap?
That's a lot of bubble wrap. Now the one up in the top there, center, that was your first place winner, Jen.
Nice.
You can't tell very well because of the bubble wrap, but there's a couple like tires wrapped around the pumpkin.
Oh, you're kidding!
Yeah. So when the pumpkin dropped from 2 stories, it kind of bounced from the tires, and so it didn't bust open like the rest of them did.
Yeah.
But that first place winner there for that pumpkin drop, that was Kel Tyler. Second place went to a team of Bruce Sims, Drew McManus, and Alec Taylor. And then third place went to the team of Alex Wakefield, Kyra Glass, and Kel Newkirk. Now, in addition to the winners for the actual pumpkin drop, where they dropped to see who had the best, like you said, vessel, people before they did the pumpkin drop could like kind of do bids on who they thought had the best vessel.
Oh.
So it was kind of a fundraiser of sorts in addition to everything else they were doing, because they had the auctions, the raffles, and everything. So they also did winners for that as well, based on how much money the kid collected in their cup. So Evan Purdue won first place. Second place went to the first and second grade students, I guess.
Okay.
They must have just had a cup for the group.
Yeah.
And then third place went to Hank Pittman. So that was a really neat fundraiser event that they had there at St. Peter and Paul. And then my Saturday wrapped up out at the Jackson County Fairgrounds for the Friday at the Fairgrounds Haunted Barn. After 2 years hiatus, that event was back, and it's always a lot of fun. That is put on by your Jackson County Livestock Committee along with 4-H and FFA youth members. A lot of those 4-H and FF youth members are the ones that you see in the barn doing the scaring, but some of those committee members are in there as well doing some of the scaring.
Yes.
I put together a little promo video here that we will have Dylan play for us real quick. Jackson County's Friday at the Fairgrounds Haunted Barn attraction is underway. The cost of admission is $15 per person. Saturdays during the month of October. Tours begin at 8 p.m. each night at the Jackson County Fairgrounds and last until midnight. Bring your friends and journey into the darkness and discover the monsters hidden within. So what do you think about that, Jen?
I think I'm good.
Yeah. I went
I'll
through.
just watch it from afar.
I went through
That looks
twice.
awesome.
Yeah, I went through it twice to get enough video clips. I kind of was on the tail end of groups because they'd send people in, so many at a time as a group, and they just kind of let them go through and find their way out. Years ago when they started, well, I say when they started it, but I used to go out and help with it. It used to be a guided tour.
Yeah.
And I would serve as a guide along with some of the different 4-H and FFA folks, and I would guide people through the haunted barn. Usually takes about 20-25 minutes, or if you get really lost, half an hour, because there are a lot of dark corridors, and they have some of those like trick doors, and there's like like when you go to like a big city, and they have like the door that goes around, there's one of those in there, and it's like pitch black, and like you're trying to find your way through. And,
oh no!
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun, but that opened on Saturday, and it will run Saturdays through October. So you still got the 15th, 22nd, and 29th to get out there.
Nice.
This year it's $15 per person. And you can get out there around 7 o'clock is when they'll start selling tickets. It's a self-guided tour now. Tours begin at 8 p.m. And like I said, there's somebody there that'll let, usually it's like a group of like 5 or 6 go at a time.
So when you pull into the fairgrounds, where do you go? What barn is this?
Yeah, so they do this in the cattle barn, and what they have signage out there. They have you park down in that. When you come up to the fairgrounds, there's like that grass field there at the bottom of the fairgrounds. They have people park there, and they have a shuttle that will pick you up and take you back to the cattle barn.
Okay.
And you'll get off, and there'll be people there you can buy your ticket and everything. I know when I was leaving Friday, there was still a big long line, but they had the Queen's Haunted Tea out there. So some of the royalty usually goes through as well. But they were saying besides the royalty, which I was out there till a little after 9, they had already 100 people paid.
Wow.
Come through, and it's open till midnight. So they start taking tours through it. 8,
That's awesome.
But
thanks to everybody involved in that, because it's a great fundraiser.
It's a lot of it is a great fundraiser. It's a lot of fun, and all the proceeds go directly to 4-H and FFA programs and fairgrounds improvements. In 2019, prior to the pandemic, the attraction brought 2,000 visitors to the fairgrounds over the course of 4 Saturdays.
That's a lot.
In October. So yeah, it's a lot of fun if you like to get scared or enjoy that kind of attraction.
Yeah.
You still have opportunity to get out there.
All right.
And it's close. You don't have to travel somewhere far away to do this. You can support a local cause.
You got it.
So that was my Saturday in a nutshell.
I was going to say, my goodness.
Yeah. And I squeezed some pumpkin carving in because we had our employee pumpkin carving in over the weekend. That was a lot of fun.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
All right. You want to see if you're a super taster?
Let's do this
before we get out of here, since we're already over anyway.
Yeah.
All right, Jeremiah. So what you have to do is you have to take this strip and you have to put it on your tongue.
Oh no! You're giving me the spicy one, right?
Yeah, I'm going to give you the one that tastes really good, right, James?
Yep. Well, it tastes like malt.
All right, and if you taste anything, just take it off your tongue.
Okay.
So if you're not a super taster, nope. Yep, just stick it on your tongue, and if it tastes like paper, then you're not a super taster.
There's a little. It's got a little bit of a bitter bit to it, but not.
Little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mainly paper.
Yeah, he's not Alex then.
Yeah. No, here, let me try the other end. Yeah, it's just like there's like a little bit of like if you would taste something that would be bitter, like I don't know how to describe it, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Okay, well you're safe then.
Yeah, maybe like when
disappointing.
Maybe like when I've given blood in the past, and they're putting like the saline back in, and you get like that bitter taste in your mouth. Maybe something like that.
All right, so you're kind of a little bit. Okay,
not very strong.
All right, well. The majority of us here are not good. I'll have you know that both of our brewers at 6 Cents are.
which is good.
Which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's good.
So anyway, but all right. Well, thanks for being a good sport
No problem.
for bringing us all the stuff that happened over the weekend. All right, got to get out of here for the day. Hope you all have enjoyed everything that we talked to. Thanks to you and Alex and Pete, of course, for stopping by. And thanks to Dylan and James for pushing all the buttons. So we'll be back here tomorrow. So we'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
See ya.